Scoop, the Scoop, the Scoop. Covering the Sarasota County area news with opinions and passion. This is the Scoop.
You're not going to know about it because Dino didn't think it was important enough to inform you. She has essentially turned this into a de facto homeless shelter, folks. I saw primarily a bunch of homeless people in there.
The Scoop. The Scoop. Sponsored by philsgang.com. Only $49.95 a month.
Hello, everybody. This is Frankie Abbruzzino, and welcome to the Scoop radio show, which is sponsored by philsgang.com. Just click on philsgang.com. They are live at 9 and 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Look, we have a lot of issues to talk about today, folks. The elections are over. We made it through that whole process that happened on Tuesday, and now we can hopefully get back to some normalcy. Political stuff, and it was getting a lot really crazy there. So I'm glad to be through that. I'm glad to focus now on the holiday season. This week, we're going to have discuss the Republican seizing of the Senate. It was something in the last minute that I just put on here. I thought, hey, let's do it. So I worked on it today, throw it on there. And then we're going to talk about the Cromans. This is a young couple that's been raising chickens for 2 years in their backyard. Now it's a controversy that because their neighbor was upset over some kind of fence line. And then we're going to talk to Paul Caragiulo. He's the former city commissioner for Sarasota. He just won his election. I think this might be his first interview since becoming the county commissioner. So we're going to talk to him about a few issues such as 2020, the homeless situation, impact fees, and some other concerns that I have out there. But first, let's look at what happened with the Republicans seizing the Senate. What will they do with it? And that's the question. Will they waste this moment? You see, this whole era of Obama's lawlessness may be over. Across the nation, we definitely rejected the failed policies of his administration that offered words without any substance. You know, Obama was strong on the rhetoric, and he's strong in making promises of a brighter future for all Americans. You know, change we can believe in. But with each passing year, that supposed future has become increasingly bleak to us common folks. After 6 years of empty Obama promises, America is now deeper in debt. Our healthcare crisis, it's out of control. The costs continue to spiral out of control. The economy is on the brink of disaster. And the economic reality for an individual Americans has long since passed the point of crisis, folks. So, will the Republicans do anything useful with this newfound power they have? And I'm going to steal a line from Jesse Ventura right here. The two parties in America are just like two different gangs that are vying for power. And he refers to them as the Democrats and the Red Bloodkins. I thought it was funny. Look, most of us have lost faith in the ability of the federal government to do anything constructive at all. And that's if we had that faith. And you look at some of these federal branches, the CDC, they plummeted in the disastrous government response to the Ebola outbreak. The reputation of the IRS, that fell off the cliff following the revelations that is selective targeting conservative nonprofits for punitive actions. The Tea Party. The Secret Service and the prostitution scandal. With all this, Americans are increasingly seeing the federal government as a massive failure. Those of us who are well-informed on health and agriculture issues also know that both the FDA and the USDA are wholly corrupted by corporate interest. They have both abandoned the people and systematically make decisions to enrich their corporate controllers on everything, from GMOs to medicine. So, can Republicans-controlled Congress change any of that? I don't think so. I'm hopeful, but I don't think so, folks. The Republican establishment strongly favors corporate interests. And while there's no question that America's small businesses need a break from the outrageous burdens of Obamacare, Republicans are more often than not working for big business and not small business. Folks, we are in a very dangerous time for America right now. Obama is now backed into the corner, and he appears pretty desperate. Look, folks, there's no telling what sort of executive orders he will attempt to pull out next. The amnesty. 2 months while the U.S. Senate remains in Democratic control, he can do anything. This whole amnesty thing really has me concerned. On my daily show, I went into this whole diatribe of the issues and concerns I have with it. Nothing will be done about the stock market bubble that looms as this whole financial crisis is just waiting to happen. It's the bubble that's waiting to burst. The U.S. economy. The economy continues to crater from job losses, which the federal government simply has chosen not to report. It's not 5.5%, folks. It's more like 25%. Food inflation. Food inflation is alarmingly high, but take-home earnings are stagnant. You know, it'd be one thing if inflation was increasing in line with our salaries and our take-home pay, but it's not, folks. And it's not this 1.5% that Obama keeps reporting. No, sir. I can tell you this. Obama could tell me all day long it's 1.5%, but until he goes down to Publix and shops and figures out that it's more like 7 or 8%, I don't want to hear about it. And look, when it comes to government, only idiots look to government to solve every problem that is out there. They're the ones that created it in the first place. How can they resolve it? We would all be better off if the government would just get out of our way and let us create jobs. Let us expand businesses. Let us help restore the kinds of liberties and freedoms that have led to prosperity in the first place. Most of all, we've got to stop the private Federal Reserve from robbing us all blind by creating this fiat currency and handing it over to the wealthy banksters, while the rest of us are quietly sit around losing purchasing power by the minute. This looting, the looting of the American worker is already underway. And you pay the price every time you buy food at the grocery store, folks. Is America really on a new path of freedom and prosperity? Or has D.C. merely flipped from one gang to another? And that's my concern. The next 2 years will provide us with the answers. Obama's lawlessness may be coming to close, but if we're not careful, folks, Republicans might be steering us directly into a whole new Orwellian era, where corporations decide everything, and the people are increasingly stripped of power, they're stripped of their rights, they're stripped of their privacy, and they're stripped of their freedom. You know, if the government can't make a serious change and actually start solving some of the problems it has created, the American people may soon find itself in the streets, hungry and animated, gathering momentum for the popular revolt against a criminally operated government that only sold all of us out. We don't want to see that happen, folks. We can't see that happen here in the United States. You know, but I get concerned. Sure, we have the Senate. The Republicans have the Senate now. They now have the majority. Bonner said, hey, I can't do anything in Congress. I don't have the majority. Well, now he's got the majority. But what do these two leaders come out and say, Bonehead Bonner and, oh gosh, I forgot his name with the Senate. McConnell, that's it, McConnell. What do? They come out and say, hey, we're not even going to think about repealing Obamacare. So for years and years and years, these two guys have gone on and said, hey, we're going to repeal Obamacare. Don't worry. If we get in control, we're going to do it. Or suddenly they're in control. Oh, we can't do that. So what we need to do is get rid of these blue coat Republicans and put in other people. Who says that the senior people have to be the leaders? When are our legislators going to step up and get rid of Bonehead Boner or McConnell, especially Boner? He spends too much time out there golfing with Obama, and he really needs to go. All right, folks, what I'm going to do is, this is a real issue that's coming up, is this whole chicken thing, and I'm hoping I can get it all out because I got a lot to talk about it. And then we're going to ask Paul. We're going to ask Paul what his thoughts are on the whole chicken controversy as a incoming county commissioner, and see if there's any suggestions he could give these people in regards to being able to keep their chickens. We'll be right back, folks. We're one cluck away.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere.
Did Did you know that the stock market was up over 26% in 2013? Would you like to start making money in the stock market? For only $49.95 a month, Phil Grandy will teach and guide you on how to make profits on your investments. There are no contracts, no added fees. For only $49.95 a month, members have complete access to Phil's live training classes, daily market updates, timely alerts, and educational videos. Try philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. What makes professional traders and investors around the world successful? They are savvy. They do their homework. They look for the best deal, and they find it at Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers' platform and services are designed to minimize costs to help maximize returns. Interactive Brokers. Stocks, options, futures, forex, bonds, worldwide from one account. See interactivebrokers.com for more information. interactivebrokers.com. I'm here today with philsgang.com's Phil Grandy. Phil, tell us why the Phil's Gang show is different than the other shows.
Because my show, we combine social talk with finance. Nobody else does that. There's either finance, which is so boring and you turn the station when you hear it, or there's all social talk. Mine is different. Mine is social, and I combine it with finance, and we make it very interesting, and we give good information.
Phil, what does philsgang.com offer to the individual investor?
Low fees. It's the 401k fees that are killing people. Just a 1% fee wipes out 28% of all the money you put away for retirement. The average person pays 3%. So that means on $1 million, if you're lucky to walk out with $250,000. So I offer a simple, low-cost, exchange-traded fund retirement fund, and the fee is only $1 in, $1 out for your exchange-traded fund and your membership of $49.95 a month. There's nothing better.
For more information, please go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Every single one of his medical bills, everything is just all taken care of.
Saber que el tratamiento es completamente gratis nos quita una preocupación de encima.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
USA Today says a federal website aimed at tracking government money can't find $619 billion.
Most employees are in the dark. If you're not aware of what you're paying, then at the end of a 30-year working career, you can have a lot less in retirement savings than you expected to have.
I think it's time to declare the 401k a failure.
The Dow taking a huge hit, impacting 401ks.
You're fine. You don't pay attention to the value of your house every day. You don't pay attention to your portfolio every day. Have a good, sound plan so you can go on and enjoy life.
I wonder why they tell you not to pay attention to your plan. Of course, because they're stealing your money. Join my gang, philsgang.com, and get my retirement investment fund where you keep the money, not them.
philsgang.com teaches, coaches, and guides you on how to invest and trade in the stock market. We help you keep your money. For more information, go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Call today. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grandy, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Phil Grandy is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Listen to what people say about philsgang.com.
You know, I'd listened to you on the radio, and I thought, oh, I love his sense of humor. He can make trading fun. I guess this is the guy I'm going to learn to chart with. The Phil Gang. Phil, I have learned so much. It is absolutely incredible.
For a successful investing plan for any time frame, from current income to your retirement security, philsgang.com puts you on the path to making profits in the stock market.
You make it so simple if they can really grasp what you're trying to get through to them.
Only philsgang.com's Phil Grandy and Donald Cogswell teach teach you, coach you, and guide you to investing confidence.
Being a gang member, and you're showing us how to trade in any market, which gives you such a feeling of confidence.
Why pay an outrageous fee for a one-time weekend investing class when philsgang.com provides daily investing webinars, alerts, and investing advice for only $49.95 a month, and all material is archived. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a
Hey, everybody. This is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Scoop Radio Show, and welcome back. Now, we are going to step into the hen house, and see what all the fuss is about chickens in Nokomis. And what this does is this involves a family, the Corman family, and they have 3 chickens. They hatched about 2 years ago. But now, Sarasota County code enforcement has stepped up, and they want to reduce their count to a goose egg. Now, they are leading the way for a change in the county regulation that will allow residents in other unincorporated areas to raise chickens. And I know this has been an issue that's been out there. Northport City recently shot it down. I know it's been something Venice has looked at. But here's this couple. For 2 years, they had these chickens in their backyard without any ruffling of any feathers whatsoever. And this is, I think, on a 5-acre piece of land out in Nokomis. And it's unincorporated. However, after a property line dispute with their neighbor, this guy decided to be difficult. He decided to go out and report that these 2 young kids dare to raise their own poultry. How could they? So the county, with all their wisdom, stepped in and said, get rid of those chickens, or we'll fine you $250 a day. And this is a couple that just can't afford $250 a day. But you see, within Sarasota County's unincorporated area, poultry are only allowed to be kept on properties that are zoned open use or agricultural. So they have to change the zoning if they want to keep it there, and they can't get that done. And they're not alone, though. This is an issue throughout the county, where many residents desire to eat chicken that they have raised and eat eggs that they come from the hens that they have raised. There's actually an organization out there that I found out in Sarasota. It's called CLUCK, C-L-U-C-K, which is aggressively working to get the ordinance changed within Sarasota County. Now, they have been summoned to appear in front of some special magistrate for Sarasota County later this month. And this is obviously upsetting to them. They will be devastated if they have to rehome their beloved chickens, and they don't know what to do. Local backyard chicken ordinances can work, as this couple have proven over the past 2 years. Different cities and counties are compiling something of a scrambled record on residential poultry ordinances. Some towns have managed to scratch up an acceptable level of ordinances, while others have been, a little bit chicken to deal with the issue. Some towns have opted to firmly against adoption of any background poultry ordinances, which I get, especially if you're in a highly populated area like in downtown Venice. Among the reasons for the rejection of the chicken ordinance are concerns expressed by residents about chickens getting out of their enclosures and becoming a traffic hazard, and worries about the potential for that unpleasant odor. Oh, that unpleasant odor. Certainly, any community taking a serious look at backyard chicken ordinances should consider the potential downside of enacting any such ordinance. I get that. I'm on board. I'm with you. However, there is considerable evidence to suggest that common concerns about allowing chickens in residential areas are at least somewhat overblown. A little over a year ago, a green urban policy class at DePaul University conducted a survey of more than 20 municipalities, and they had enacted poultry ordinances between 2005 and 2009. According to the survey, 17 of the cities reported no problems whatsoever with chickens getting loose. 10 cities reported finding no violations of their chicken ordinances, while 5 more reported 4 or fewer violations. Just one city reported a significant number of violations, telling the survey team it had issued 20 of citations. And the results were similar regarding questions on the number of citizen complaints about backyard chickens. 13 communities reported 2 or fewer complaints. 2 indicated receiving between 5 to 10 complaints. Look, there are a number of ways to craft a backyard chicken ordinance to address community concerns. The setting of a minimum lot size, specific number of chickens that are allowed, rules regarding how chickens are to be kept on their owner's property, and just some of the ways of dealing with a more problematic issue. And there is always, folks, the option of putting an ordinance in place for a specific period of time to test it out, with the local government reserving the right to modify or rescind the ordinance if it produces unintended consequences. The point here is that there are ways for communities to accommodate those residents interested in raising chickens while respecting the rights of the surrounding property owners. It will be interesting to see how Sarasota County chooses to deal with this issue. And when the County Commissioner, Paul Caragiulo, comes up in the next segment, we're going to ask him about that. We're also going to ask him about the reshaping of the Bayfront. You see, I interviewed Paul, back in July, I think. And I was trying to get the feel for what's going on here. And the way Paul broke it down to me, it was a lot different than what's being communicated out there. And so I asked Paul if he could come on and just touch on that, and about the fact that there is a foreign government that owns part of that property there, but you're not hearing about it. Nobody's talked to them in this whole vision, this 2020 Bayfront vision. The other issue is there's already been a master plan out there. This master plan was put out there, I think it was back in 2007. And nobody's talking about it. I reviewed it the other day. It was like 92 pages. Very thorough. It went through having the meetings, the community meetings. It's done everything that this Bayfront 2020 has done, yet we're hearing nothing about it. I tried asking Paul, and I didn't have a chance to ask the city how much was spent to have a consultant come in and help devise this plan, but I'm sure it was a pretty penny. So that's another issue. Why aren't we focusing on what we've already created? Why aren't we talking, involving this other entity, this Irish government that owns part of the property? And I'll let Paul expand on that because he's a little bit more knowledgeable on the whole issue. And we're going to have him up next. And some other issues that I'm going to discuss with Paul are the impact fees. If you recall, I had Kathy on last week, and we're going to talk a little bit about the overdevelopment of homes. Like in Northport, they were developing 70,000. You remember all that? Well, we're going to get Paul out here. We're going to talk to the new county commissioner and get his thoughts. We'll be right back.
Please grab a pen and paper or type this into your phone. InvestYourself.com. For the best free financial newsletter on the planet, go to InvestYourself.com and sign up today. Hi, my name is Bob Renier, and for over 20 years I've been publishing InvestYourself.com, and I guarantee this is the only newsletter that provides the truth. It's easy to read, and it's free. Consider this. The feds have just ended the QE program in this country, but Japan and Europe continue to print money, and all of this affects our stock market in ways you've never seen before. I invite you to sign up at InvestYourself.com. Our absolutely free newsletter will help guide you through what's really affecting our markets instead of the nonsense you hear from the mainstream media. For over 20 years, people have called it the best free newsletter on the planet, and I think you'll agree. Take a moment and go over to InvestYourself.com and sign up today. It's absolutely free, no credit card required, no ID required. Simply pop your email address in the box. That's InvestYourself.com, InvestYourself.com.
PhilsGang.com is a powerful online website for novice and experienced stock traders and investors who demand professional-grade online tools, superior customer support, and extensive investing education. Not sure how to trade or invest in stocks? PhilsGang.com is your #1 educational source for online stock trading and investing material, with daily webinars, individual charting videos, and programs customized to make you a smart smarter, more informed investor. It's as simple as following philsgang.com's Phil Grande and Donald Cogswell. When they buy, you buy. And when they short stocks, you short. In this volatile market, wouldn't it be nice to have someone guide and coach you to create wealth market? You can with philsgang.com. Simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Investors who want to maximize their opportunities and minimize their losses, turn to philsgang.com. Beginner or seasoned investor, philsgang.com is where you learn to invest using professional level skills and strategies, regardless of your experience and investing goals.
Been a member for about a year, and this year I'm up around 60% on my portfolio.
I'm a new gang member. I'm up like 15% in 3 months. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving my confidence back in trading.
For only $49.95 a month, you will have access to all Phil's Gang programs, special alerts, the daily investing class, and all material is archived. So why don't you take care of your financial opportunities with philsgang.com? Operators are standing by. Simply call 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Or go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com today.
Every single one of his medical bills, everything is just all taken care of.
Saber que el tratamiento es completamente gratis nos quita una preocupación de encima.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com, and I want to talk to you a little bit about retirement. Did you know that 75% of the people who are just 6 years away from retiring don't have enough money to retire, to live the lifestyle they've grown accustomed to? That's right. So what are they going to do? Well, they're going to suffer. They've run out of time. But if you have not run out of time, then you have an alternative to a 401k, which just 1% in a fee takes away 28% of your income. You know that the average is 3%, which means on $1 million that you lose 75% of your retirement. You've got to keep those fees for yourself. The 401k has been a Ponzi scheme, but they spent billions of dollars in marketing to convince you otherwise. Check out my retirement fund, the Working Investment Retirement Fund, where you keep the money. philsgang.com.
Get real guidance with your trades and investments. Simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264 and ask about the Working Investment Retirement Fund. That's 877-600-4264.
What makes investors around the world successful? They're savvy, they do their homework, they look for the best value, and they find it at Interactive Brokers. Phil's Gang chooses Interactive Brokers, stocks, options, futures, forex, bonds, and worldwide from one account. I recommend Interactive Brokers to all my Phil's Gang members. I use it myself. Check them out. Go to philsgang.com and click on the Interactive Brokers graphic. And that's philsgang.com.
Hey everybody, this is Frankie Abbruzzino, and I'm back with the Scoop Radio Show. And fortunately, we have an excellent guest today. This is a former city commissioner with the city of Sarasota, Paul Caragiulo, and he is fresh off his win yesterday, and he is now the new county commissioner. I think it's for District Number 2. Paul, are you there?
I am here.
Paul, congratulations on your successful win.
Yeah, not former yet. However, I'm still going to be at the city until the 17th of November.
17th of November. And when do you take over as the county commissioner?
The 18th of November.
Okay, great.
Yeah. They give me a nice, about a 12-hour break. Actually, about 9 hours. But anyway.
You know what? First, before I have a couple questions to ask you, but I thought I'd give you an opportunity first just to tell us what your plans are, what your ambitions are with this new role, and what you hope to achieve.
Well, happy to do that, Frankie. I just wanted to first say that I want to thank everyone who got out to the polls and certainly appreciate the support. We had a really great team put together, and it's been a lot of work. It's been a long process, 15 months, and I'm just absolutely I couldn't be happier with the result, and I think I'm actually ready to start right now. But but there'll be plenty to do. I mean, basically in the shorter term, as we know, we have some changes that were made to our land use policy, and that have to sort of be finished up with some legal definitions and designations and practices that are going to be put in place, and how we grow and what our expectations are, and that's going to be where I'm going to be sitting there, sort of making those decisions, and it's going to require lots of listening and lots of input, and hopefully we can get to some reasonable conclusion.
Oh, great. Now, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and it's going to relate some to the city, some to the county level. And the first one, this is a recorded show, and I sent you over the story about the chicken. And I wanted just to get your thoughts. I already went through it, and I did my diatribe here. What are your thoughts on people being able to house these chickens within the county?
Well, the issue, to put it sort of in the context where my interaction with the issue would be was, I don't know if you recall, but a couple of years ago we had this issue come to the city of Sarasota. It was actually just prior to my getting elected to the city commission in 2011. It was, but I was pretty well connected to the issue that was being put forth by this group called Cluck, which did a lot of work and a lot of outreach and a lot of research. Subsequently, when it passed, and it was a fairly volatile discussion, as we know that there are very many things in the city of Sarasota that evolve into volatile discussion. No, it's not a remarkable issue in that capacity, but a couple of years later, because there was a sunset provision in that original ordinance that we just extended, and it seems that we're not really having any problem regulating this activity. It was really has amounted to little or no effect, if you ask me. I mean, I'm certainly not aware of any serious issues that have come up because of people housing chickens.
Right.
You know, I personally, maybe it's my sort of interest in agrarian food issues and these types of things. I don't have any problem with it. You know, I think that if you have regulations in place that could mitigate the effect, you can look at this as just about any other land use issue, or or any other issue, the way you look at regulating sound or noise or anything else. I mean, you have to sort of look at what you can do, what's reasonable, and sometimes you got to roll the dice with some of these things. But I personally was surprised to find out, believe it or not, that that in the county you had to have either open use zoning or agricultural zoning, being that typically in certain areas of the county anyway, you have larger properties that might, where it might not come as a surprise that people have chickens, but apparently it's pretty heavily regulated. So that's, I think, where the rubber's gonna hit the road, is can we come up with some reasonable conclusion how this could be done. I mean, you are talking about the unincorporated area of the county, obviously.
Yeah, the unincorporated.
Cities would be on their own. So.
Yeah, and you know what? I basically echoed what you said, is why can't we put some kind of restrictions in place, some kind of regulations, and see where it goes, maybe do a temporary thing. And, they have been there for 2 years on 5 acres, and all of a sudden it's a big problem, which...
I will say this. I have never spoken to these folks. I'm not familiar with the real significant details of their case, and I wouldn't, not that I don't trust the media, but I wouldn't want to comment substantively on their specific issue. What I do know is that there's a pretty wide spectrum with how people feel about what quote unquote affects them when it comes to neighbors and things like that. Some folks can get riled up about just about anything, and some folks are very, very tolerant. So when you go and you say, you try to judge what the effect of a particular issue is like this one, it's very, very difficult. And some folks have a very low threshold for, I don't know, like being
for any of this chicken business,
inconvenienced or stuff like you know what I mean. It's like many things.
Well, let's move on to another thing because I'm short on time. One thing I did want to talk to you about, and since you're going to be on the city until the 17th, is this latest controversy with the signs. I got to tell you, I get what the business owners are trying to achieve, and I appreciate it. And I think they went a little too far by saying 97% of these guys are on drugs if you give them the money. I think they sort of sparked the controversy with that sign.
Let me say this without getting into the details, because I know they're going to chime in legally, and it's like anything else. It's a very emotional issue. That little tidbit, if you will, or that utilization of that fact it's actually 93%. From what I understand from Dr. Marmot, 93% gets used for three things. It's either drugs, alcohol, or sex. Sex is the third one, which is not on the sign, but who wants to advertise that? And there have been this sort of strategy, if you will, has been utilized elsewhere, and it does help people sort of put it in perspective and say, look, do I really want to get in the situation of handing someone, cash, when if I feel like I want to help, there's probably a better way to do that. Now, that being said, when you venture into the area of placing the signage, you I think the intent is pure, absolutely, but you venture into a risky area. I know that other places have sort of, and this has been merchant driven by in other locations, because that's who are being affected typically. Whether you have signs in your window, whether you have something in the store or whatever. I mean, there are ways to get to raise awareness without latching things to a signpost. And the reason why I say that is, what's ironic about this is the city, we just very recently went through sort of this policy to do something about the proliferation of all types of signs. Traffic, I mean, it's just like if you go out in the street, you're like, how many different things telling me what to do am I going to experience today? So it's ironic that this was kind of utilized when we're trying to, I thought make an effort to declutter what's on the street. But
and I didn't realize the city was already looking at that. And I'm hoping that the city isn't going to be like Venice and spend $30,000 on a consultant to come out and tell them what they should or shouldn't do with their sign policy. But hold that thought 1 second, Paul. What I'd like you to do is think about that. We got a hard break coming up in about 10 seconds. And I'll let you address that question about the consultant, and then we'll touch on a couple other stuff like impact fees.
Sure.
All right, thanks a lot, Paul. We'll be right back, folks.
Did you know that the stock market was up over 26% in 2013? Would you like to start making money in the stock market? For only $49.95 a month, Phil Grandy will teach and guide you on how to make profits on your investments. There are no contracts, no added fees. For only $49.95 a month, members have complete access to Phil's live training classes, daily market updates, timely alerts, and educational videos. Try philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. What makes professional traders and investors around the world successful? They are savvy, they do their homework, they look for the best deal, and they find it at Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers platform and services are designed to minimize costs to help maximize returns. Interactive Brokers, stocks, options, futures, forex, bonds, worldwide from one account. See interactivebrokers.com for more information. interactivebrokers.com.
Every single one of his medical bills, everything is just all taken care of.
Saber que el tratamiento es completamente gratis nos quita una preocupación de encima.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
I'm here today with Phil'sGang.com's Phil Grandy. Phil, tell us why the Phil's Gang show is different than the other shows.
Because my show, we combine social talk with finance. Nobody else does that. There's either finance, which is so boring and you turn the station when you hear it, or there's all social talk. Mine is different. Mine is social, and I combine it with finance, and we make it very interesting, and we give good information.
Phil, what does Phil'sGang.com offer to the individual investor?
Low fees. It's the 401k fees that are killing people. Just a 1% fee wipes out 28% of all the money you put away for retirement. The average person pays 3%. So that means on $1 million, if you're lucky to walk out with $250,000. So I offer a simple, low-cost, exchange-traded fund retirement fund, and the fee is only $1 in, $1 out for your exchange-traded fund, and your membership of $49.95 a month. There's nothing better.
For more information, please go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grandy, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Phil Grandy is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. I'm here today with philsgang.com's Phil Grandy. Phil, do people really get hurt with 401k fees?
Sure, you're seeing it today like no other time because most people don't understand the fees. And when the 401k started out, it was a perfect timing because the stock market was roaring for 2 years. So they didn't care what they were paying for fees. It always looked like they were making money in spite of the fees. It wasn't until the market broke they found out that they were being scammed by fees. It's just a 1% fee. They wipe out 28% of your money.
So you're saying there's a big difference in how much money you end up with at retirement.
Amazing that 85% didn't know what effect these high fees had on their retirement money. For every 1% they pay, 1% takes away 28% of your retirement money. 2%, you lose more than half of all the money you put away for your retirement.
Fees are damaging your future, your retirement. Learn more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hey everybody, you're back with Frankie Abbruzzino with the Scoop Radio Show, and I have on the air with us Paul Carajula. He is the current City of Sarasota Commissioner, and he just won election as the new County Commissioner starting November 18th. And Paul, we left off discussing the whole consultant issue and my concern with consultants coming in and having to pay them to tell us how to create a sign policy.
Well, yeah, and to be clear, the consultant, put it this way, the entire recommendation, basis of the recommendation, or the actual chunk of the recommendation, isn't about creating signs to stop panhandlers. A component, one of 25 or 27 things, one of which is to try to raise awareness to get people to realize that panhandling is the most common form of enabling the behavior that we're trying to stop.
Right.
So, that doesn't mean necessarily you put a sign on the sidewalk, but there are other ways that you can do that.
Okay. Now, one other issue that I did want to discuss, because to me it seems confusing, and this is Bayfront 2020, and I sent you an email asking you how, basically where can I get some information on the cost for the last proposal that was done, I think in 2007.
Yeah, right. That was something called the Cultural District Master Plan.
Yeah, and I'm wondering why we're not utilizing that. And then also, if you could, during our last interview, I something about an Irish company where they come into the picture because it's a little confusing to me.
Oh, yeah, that's sort of a separate issue that had to do with title on the Quay property.
Okay,
it was actually an Irish banking, basically the regulatory banking authority. I don't know, like maybe FDIC would call it or something like that. Well, it was the agency that regulates Irish banks. When they had so many of them fail during the economic collapse, this government entity then got control of the property, and it was sort of difficult to from what I understand, gain some type of a transactional opportunity or control to pass the title off. I think that's all, to my knowledge, all been fixed, because there are, I guess, companies actively trying to purchase that property. If they haven't done so already, we wouldn't know until after the fact anyway, because the city has little or nothing to do with that.
So on the Bayfront 2020, why wouldn't they utilize that old master plan that I'm assuming we spent a pretty penny coming up with? It took 4 years.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the figure was. I want to say it was probably somewhere around $500,000 or maybe a little more, but don't
quote you.
Or maybe we could say today in today's dollars. I don't know, but it's not that it's totally been shredded, because the bones of that is sort of what the demand for infrastructure for a large project would be, which would sewers, sidewalks, utilities, all that kind of stuff that typically could be done with some type of a redevelopment effort, and then your private development comes in after that, if there is, so whether it's not for profit, or whatever else. I mean, it's not like it's totally useless or anything. It's just now this discussion that's going on right now is sort of fixated more on what would the uses, if any, what would they be, what would they look like, for example. Do you have the orchestra involved? Do you have boat involved? Do you have some type of a hotel? Well, this has been taken on. Any hotel or conference component is sort of, in some strange turn of events, unilaterally the city commission says, look, don't talk to us about this. This is, sort of the way they have been acting on several things, but this is a very good example of, these are things we don't want to talk about, one of which is having any kind of a conference or hotel amenity on the Bayfront. But, it's basically, from what I understand, it's going to be a bunch of folks from different organizations or interests coming together to come up with a vision, quote unquote, for the Bayfront.
So it's a good thing.
I'm sorry?
So it's a good thing then.
Yes, ultimately, I think it's a good thing. I don't know, believe it or not, what the time frame is, what the it's unclear to me who the actual group is, because there is no actual group. Visit Sarasota is pretty much driving the facilitation of these public outreach sessions, but I don't know that there's an actual committee specifically, and I wouldn't know who's on the committee. It's probably strange for people to hear a public official say that, but it's hey, we're going to get together to discuss the Bayfront. Is a meeting this date? I don't know who's driving any of it, but
Well, let me try to squeeze in one more question, okay?
Sure.
And this is we're going to stay along the lines of development with 2050. And I don't know if you caught last weekend's show. I had Kathy Artunes on, and she crunched some numbers, and she said, hey, look, in Northport, they're adding about 70,000 new houses. And the vacancy rate, I don't know, 50, 60%, whatever it is. And she's got a concern that there's overdevelopment due to lax controls with this 2050 and everybody wanting to develop. And one of my concerns is the impact fees, where we're possibly discounting them too much, and then us, the current taxpayers, are going to have to pay for those schools, those roads, those sewer systems. And I was wondering if you could, we got about 3 minutes.
That gets into a very complicated discussion, which I'm happy to do.
Can you do it in 3 minutes?
Or we'll break it up into 3 shows, because let's just say you can. It's very easy to get people's attention if you say your hair is on fire with this one issue. I will say this: impact fees. I don't personally. I would prefer that the county dealt with impact fees the way some other places do, which was to basically assign them geographically. For example, without getting into fiscal neutrality and all that other stuff, at the end of the day, you're going to collect money for services. What that number should be that you should collect, I believe, should depend on what area of the county that it is. I believe that if you want to incentivize development in one area, then perhaps you can have a lower impact fee. If you want to disincentivize, which I think is perfectly fine if that's the will of the community and the decision that's made, then you make impact fees higher or more cost prohibitive or whatever. To sort of look at, to paint this with one big brush is probably not going to get us where we need to go.
But isn't that what they're doing now? It seems like they're saying, okay, this is basically the way it's going to be, and there's
it's basically one fee, no matter where you are. And I think that's, I don't know. I mean, this is just my opinion. This is not.
I actually like your idea. I think that's a good idea.
Well, yeah, because then you see. Honestly, Frankie, what happens with all this stuff is most of the folks, with all due respect, who reel off this stuff are speaking in a political capacity. This is about planning, not about politics. We got to stop utilizing these terms and these structural nuances that mean very little to day-to-day citizens, and getting into the planning part of it. You know what I mean? There's the screaming about it, and there's the real work trying to remediate a situation if one exists. Right. Do I think that development should pay for itself? I think everything should pay for itself. I mean, conceptually. But what does that mean? You get into a whole different world when you start, speculating about what somebody's going to build and what this. I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to build something if there's a demand for someone to buy it.
Exactly.
That's typically how it works. 70,000 units in Northport. I would say that Northport has to be okay with that because the county doesn't regulate the land use in Northport.
Yep, and on that note, Paul, I got to cut you off because we're coming to the end of the show, and I can certainly have you back, and we could try to. I know that was a loaded question. I threw a bunch out there.
I would happy to spend as much time as you can bear on the issue. So.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming in, and again, congratulations on your new position, and I wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you, Paul. All right, folks, remember, I do have a daily show. It is at theuncensoredreport.com where I talk about national alternative news and international. Check that out. Also, remember to visit my sponsor, philsgang.com. And this is it for Frankie. I will see you next week.
This has been the Scoop Radio Show, sponsored by philsgang.com.
That's all, folks.